Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration. Part whatever, don't know what part we're on. But regardless, my name is Brad. My constitutional rights are violated. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution is supposed to guarantee you your right to your writings and discoveries. I have a tremendous amount of research. It's all sitting here right here on this channel. I'm not going to try to convince you of anything. But more current events, I'm going to talk about a good example of being tortured and how once your reputation gets slandered and defamed, and when you don't have your reputation respected, like you literally just become a pelting wall. And I've been tortured continuously since I've been a child. There is not one waking moment of my life in which I've been forming memories in which I haven't simply existed around people that do not know how to behave. Then they have to immediately launch out that insecurity, project it onto me, say that's what I am doing, and then absolutely categorically destroy my life in any facet or way they can. They get offended and they assert any authority over me that they possibly can exert. It's ruined my life. I'm sitting here, I've almost died. I was hospitalized with severe health issues because I cannot consume calories properly. I was disowned from my parents' family. I'm still at their house now, but I can't not address things that have been the direct consequence of ongoing criminal activity. Not respecting my constitutional rights has truly categorically ruined every facet and waking moment of my life. And believe it or not, I don't know who you are watching this, but I'm a normal fucking dude. All I've ever wanted in my life is to have a career and a family. I was born into the United States of America. You're supposed to have this constitution, but in reality, all anybody does is compete over nothing. Our society is very demonstrably sports. People just play games, play games, play games, play games, and guess what they learn to do? Play games, play games, play games, and play games. And so then when something serious comes up and you say, hey, my constitutional rights are violated, and they are, profoundly, it's ruined every business I've tried to start, every friend I've tried to make, every relationship I've had with my parents' family, it has. I can't eat properly, I can't sleep properly, I'll never have a career and a family. Again, they blame the victim. I am a scapegoat. I've been blamed by a community of people for doing absolutely literally nothing. I simply exist, and a bunch of weird, goofy, spooky idiots don't know how to behave, so what are they going to do? They're going to project their insecurity onto me, say that's what I'm going to do, and then blame me for it. And so I wanted to start because we see that, and again, after 10 years, after complete unification of the natural sciences, to the point where I'm simply iterating a logical proof that contains the axiomatization of physics, and I cannot eat properly, I cannot sleep properly, and I certainly cannot work. And so, but we see it in these comments. And so my YouTube channel is purely educational. Again, all of the legal discussion I talk about is purely because I am the victim of crime. I mean, it's overwhelmingly demonstrable. And in addition to the United States Constitution, there's the United Declaration of Human Rights. Basically, any civilized nation saying, here's what every individual deserves. And all of that shit is violated. Everyone's aware of it. I just put my research on YouTube, and of course the vitriolic hatred of every insecure person has to latch onto me, spew that hatred and vitriol onto me, and then make me feel disgusting. The most easy way to describe my life is I get genuinely, objectively, profoundly tortured by people that think they've been abused a little bit. And it is the most disgusting shit ever. And so I thought a good place to start today before we get to the current events is just some comments on my YouTube channel. Because again, at current time, I am seeking asylum. I am urgently seeking asylum out of this third world fucking country that is the United States of America. I have no political bent. I have no religious bent. I simply am a human being that said, hey guys, can I live a life? And the answer has been no, in direct violation of the law. So I'm just like, let me get the fuck out of here. But obviously that will never be respected. And so, right, I put up a short video today. The title, if you want to watch it, is called Iterating Letters Changes Meaning. And it does, right? The example I used was reserve and reverse, right? If you literally reverse the V and the S of reverse, you get reserve. Again, a direct demonstration of iteration of letters. And then somebody comments on there, they don't. And I'm just thinking there, scratching my head, like, what is this person saying? The whole comment is they don't, period. And so he cooked up with that period. He really told me that letters don't iterate, which first of all, if you watch a video and you don't like it, you skip it, right? Maybe if it's something, I've never disliked a video, like put the thumbs down on a YouTube video ever. If something is something I don't want to watch, I just click off of it. Point being is to make a comment on somebody else's channel, it takes you a long Like something has to be going on in your own head to be like, I have to say something to this person. And so, but this is a direct demonstration of linguistics. It's just like there's nothing to say no to. But of course, how this innervated this person, it sure as fuck did. And so now they have to tell me, and again, you might say, well, Brad, who cares? Because if someone were to share these videos and acknowledge my research, I would have a fucking life. I don't give a shit about one comment on YouTube. I don't care at all. But it's just, you see this hive mind, pack mentality, and it's just what you guys have called ontological shock. And I'm just so dumbfounded, like, what on earth can you post a little fun fact about language? And it's like, oh my gosh, I need to tell them they don't. And they do. Here's the thing, is it just does. Like, there's nothing else to see. Got another comment on the Cyrillic alphabet. He says, in fact, you can easily pronounce the letter U. This is the same sound as the letter Y in the words system and sister. No, it's not. It just isn't. Sister. It's like, if you say it just as a letter, it's like then it sounds kind of French. But then a lot of times in the words, it actually comes more out as like an E. And so, again, this one's just confidently wrong. The first one, they don't, is clearly like, I'm asserting authority over you. Brad, the guy that is demonstrably the most acute and aware person of language that's ever demonstrably existed, the entire unification of physics is literally sitting on the internet. You just have to close your arrogant fucking mouth, shut the fuck up, and listen. That's all you have to do. But does that exist? No, it doesn't. It just doesn't. And so then we go to, this is the one that really makes, like, the other one, again, it's just, why does anyone comment this dumb shit? I don't even get it. But this is all evidence of what you guys have called ontological shock. And there are certain points in life when I have to speak as a judge and as an authoritative figure. And this is, like I said, this is the behavior that is the problem with every fixable thing in our society. All of it. Screenshots sent off. If these people are not prosecuted, it is obstruction of justice. And so now you can't even respond on YouTube. I'm sitting on here with 1,400 plus videos of the most prolific derivation in human history. I'm sitting here with the handwritten manuscripts that I can't literally have the confidence to put in a university, which is so bizarre. I mean, it's beyond criminal. I'm trying not to swear that much because I'm at my parents' house, or else I would be yelling. But, like, I'm being tortured. I've been tortured my entire life. Like I said, I have no conscious memories of not, like, literally saying, I'm being threatened. I need to get out of this environment. And there's just no fucking way for me to ever have a family, a career, and feel safe. But again, this is on my short video of The Wizard of Oz and Judy Garland. So in the video, I just say, hey, I'm reading this book. Judy Garland's name used to be Frances Gumm, and it was at the behest or at the motivation of the MGM's business people. And then somebody comments, Judy and her mother changed her name before she became a star at MGM. And whoever said it was the first color movie? You're just making up crap and using lousy sources. Talk about what you know. How the fuck does a little video like that cause this reaction? This person has no business in this society. This person is an ongoing public threat to public safety. They are. Believe it or not, I've been in situations in real life where this behavior escalates to violence. And guess what I do? You guys have watched me stand on my back patio at my house and be threatened with death by my neighbor for standing there. I just exist, and it elicits this response of we need to snuff out Brad's life. And I'm just like, how do I make this shit stop, man? I'm just doing academic research around people so retarded, so illiterate. They have never contributed to the world. They just hear a literal fact, a fun fact, something that should not cause an emotional response whatsoever. And it's like vitriol. And so my response to that comment was literally, why do people like you even comment? It's a short about information in a book review, not my assertions, not me, quote, making crap up. Maybe spend 5 seconds and comment on what you know about, but that would require you to have an attention span longer than 5 seconds and watch a full-length video. I posted up an educational video. You took the time out of your day to comment some bullshit that you didn't even research or look up at all, right? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just doing a fucking book report. And so they just project that onto you, that I'm making crap up, that I'm using lousy sources. And from the Sam Kelly, it seemed like I read the whole books. It looks like his sources were pretty freaking good. But it doesn't matter. It's just like, this is a book club to discuss things. But people do not have the ability. This is a fact. This isn't even like a political, religious anything. This is just a fucking history fact about a movie. And then so the great Mark Walker 8868, that's his YouTube handle, that's his Gmail. I want this person in prison. I want this person prosecuted. Because this is the ganging up that I'm talking about. To which, again, this person, Slim Keith 11, didn't reply. But Mark Walker says, again, like 5 or 6 crying, laughing faces. Again, just have to spew out that emotional vitriol immediately. Wow. Someone points out easily refuted facts in your video and you go sideways, exclamation marks. I'm calmly directly citing what she said and just saying, yeah, I read this book. Perhaps you should stop commenting on classic films that everyone knows and comment on something that fits your skill set, like the consistency of your boogers. Which I'm assuming he means burgers? Or boogers? I don't know. It's got to either be boogers or burgers or boogers. But yeah, you have to gang up. This pathetic, insecure, fucking festering cesspool of privilege. People have to gang up on me. So now this person has, again, he's asserted his great authority over me. And then he says, there's like a bunch of spaces. Fucking no. C, do you like being insulted or demeaned? We don't either. So here's the groupthink. I'm sure Mark Walker and this random other commenter don't know each other. But we, the great enjoyers of classical music? Hey, Mark, where's your movie reviews? I'll go check them out. Oh, that's right. You have nothing going on in your worthless fucking life. You just spew out vitriol on other people's hard work, don't you, buddy? But what was being demeaning? I posted a video, someone went out of their way, which takes a long time, to tell me that I should comment on crap I know. I'm just sitting over here like, what in the fuck is going on? But you can't respond. Like I said, I'm sitting on here with a body of work where I would just tell these people to go fuck yourself. I would take, like I said, I'm already screenshotting them, recording any information I can, and if I'm not allowed to prosecute these people, everyone restricting that is also going to be prosecuted. And so I literally just commented back, I think you meant burgers. I'm not American, because again, I don't have constitutional rights. But again, if you say XYZ, if I can just say I'm not XYZ to see, like try to get to you a little more, I just say that. And so I just say I'm not American, and doing a book report triggered you. Projection at face value. Right, this first commenter, they're the one demeaning me. Oh, you're such a fucking idiot. You don't know Judy Garland wasn't. And again, I cited my sources. I mean, I just so lost. But this behavior is the problem of every fixable thing that exists in this society. And I can't go. I can't go 2 seconds without this shit happening. I have endured this brutal fucking abuse to the point of prolific torture, not being able to eat, not being able to sleep, never making a friend, getting disowned from your parents' family. Being dragged through the dirt, losing my bar and restaurant, not being able to sell my alcohol, not being able to publish any of my hundreds of mathematical proofs, hundreds of thousands of theorems, none of them. And then I make movie reviews and book reports. And people find their time out of their day to tell me how fucking disgusting I am. Again, people don't understand how brutally I have been tortured. And all I'm asking for it is to stop. And to make it stop, I collect a little bit of money, and then I get the fuck away from your disgusting, underdeveloped kids. And then I'm done. And then I move on with my life. I never care about one of your stupid idiots ever again. But that is where I have for my lovely comments on my YouTube channel. But again, because again, like I said, I get ganged up on for existing. You've seen it in person. Obviously, you see it online. But I can't emphasize enough, everyone involved in suppressing my research, suppressing scientific information, is committing sabotage, is committing treason, is committing first-degree murder, and will be prosecuted without restraint, without hesitation, without fear, without country borders, without anything. My estate is the driving economic factor on this planet. That is a fucking fact. I own education. You guys have sex, kids pop out, and then they don't behave. If you will not raise your children, I will. My God. And I will never change my sentiment. I have to censor some things on here because I can't speak the way I actually want to, but prosecute every bit of this disgusting behavior. And I'll say I'll never live a day of my life because of it. But moving on to the current events, we have the Department of Justice opened a probe into the Federal Reserve's ongoing renovation of its D.C. headquarters. And so J. Powell, or the overall Federal Reserve, was served grand jury papers and subpoenas with threat of criminal indictment, or like that's a criminal proceeding. Current interest rates are at 3.5% to 3.75%. And again, that's another thing. The only income I potentially have is I sit over here as the victim of crime under extortion of the actual government itself, of the fraud, racketeering, conspiracy of the government itself. Oh, hopefully interest rates stay so I can have, $1,000 of fucking income. My God, this country is disgusting. But a $2.5 billion renovation to remove asbestos and lead. And, the big commentary is, Trump is using any little ticky-tacky thing to try to get interest rates where he thinks wants them to be. And again, interest rates does not mean stock market go up. The economic discussion of anybody, anywhere I've ever seen is so hilariously underdeveloped, there's no point to even have it. And so, again, any corruption should, again, $2.5 billion for renovation. Again, I'm watching one person build a $4 billion ballroom, another person build a $2 billion Federal Reserve, and I'm over here like, hey guys, can I have more than $2,000 a fucking month to eat food? And the answer is no. But we have a new chair to be named to replace Powell in May of 2026. And to hear all of the disgusting commentary, again, I can't emphasize enough. I am personally suing and I'm demanding criminal prosecution of Sarah Eisen, Carl Cantonilla, Mike Santoli, David Favor, Jim Cramer, all of those fucking people, every single one of them. But they're all talking on there, again, it's like, well, how's Powell going to go out? He wants to, sunset his career, go out on a good note. If you are that concerned about your career, you have no ability to be in a position of authority. None, zero. But again, I live in a world where people are so privileged they have no idea how to behave. Age is just a number. Age is just an effing number, and I've never met somebody that can behave morally. Objectively, not a single person. But in addition to Jay Powell, there's a for those who don't know, there's a whole board that votes on interest rates. So it's like, is it just overarching pressure like, hey guys, if you don't do what Trump says, we're gonna do this shit. But then again, they can't like prosecute you unless you've actually committed fraud. But it's just all of this posturing from every side. The baby boomer generation is a fucking disease. Learn how to behave. There is no morality in this society, none. Kristi Noem sends more ICE agents to Minneapolis. Is this genuine need or asserting authority is what I've written down. And it's certainly asserting authority. Again, this is one of those situations. Immigration control enforcement, ICE has been around for a long time. Right? It's just big in the news because you have a bunch of Joes, $50,000 to sign up. And you can get to cover your face and you have to be a bitch. A cock-sucking bitch. Go do what your commanding officer says. And then you can literally watch it's like they're getting hyped up to go play a football game. And then they go shoot somebody. And then all of their cheerleaders say, oh my gosh, he kind of might have been in front of a car. And then get the fuck out of the way of the car, bro. And again, I can't emphasize enough. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I have brain cells and I can fucking think. And this country is so hypocritical. In every country. I don't say that like there's some magical country out there. People, human beings are so hypocritical with their behavior. The only thing I've been doing since I've been 12 years old is saying I need to get out. I am stuck, and to get out, I need money, and to acquire money, to have my property valued properly, I have to have access to social structures, meaning the Constitution. And so, you just know this Kristi Noem chick, she got railed down by every black dude in college. You just know that. Just look at this bimbo-ass bitch. And so, again, she's just asserting authority. ICE should be able to carry out its functions. Is it doing it in a legal, lawful way? Absolutely not. So it doesn't matter if you have a different bureaucracy or different title or a different acronym. People need to learn how to behave. Whether it's my old shitty friend Tim Doon, who is now a doctor, who it's my old shitty friend Chris Kirk, who's now a father, to it's my old teachers, my old professors, anybody I can name does not know how to behave. But Noem's quote was, to protect and allow agents to do their jobs. Yeah, their job is to not jump in front of a car and shoot people. It's not really their job. But we just saw Bill Ackman, the great political influencer, Bill Ackman, who's an investment banker, give $10,000 to ICE. People are just picking their favorite sides, and everybody's illiterate. Just let me leave this country. I can't emphasize enough. I'm not trying to accomplish anything besides leave. U.S. officials condemn Iran's use of force against its own people for protesting. Their current structure, they have a supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and the president is Masoud Pezeshkian. But the Khamenei is the name you'll hear, or the supreme leader is the actual. When you have a supreme leader and a president, it's like, who's the guy in charge? But like here in the United States, we have a constitution and a president, and none of this shit matters. And so it's all a big joke, but that's currently the head of their institutions. But you have thousands of dead protesters. There were some comments yesterday about hanging. And then the U.S. says, oh, we'll definitely stand up for human rights violations against people in Iran. How about your own citizen, me? Right here, this guy right here. I am genuinely seeking asylum. I am being tortured. I cannot express that in the serious as tone as I want to because I can't, again, put something on YouTube about people torturing me. I don't know. Who knows? I have no place to consistently do my research. I have no ability to feel safe. I have no ability to access any law. But yes, our great leaders here in the United States care about the citizens of Iran. Of course they don't. But 10,000 plus arrested. The power has been cut off. And I didn't see any public hangings today, but I think I did see something just pop up. Again, I don't know. But we'll see how that situation develops. Senator Kelly sues Pete Hegseth over the Department of Justice investigation. Hegseth wants Kelly to have less rank and pay in retirement. For again, telling soldiers to uphold the law. And those you see, you get to a point where it's, again, like I showed you that comment, letters don't iterate, they do. And then someone just says they don't. And so you just get to a point where people just blurt out directly the wrong thing, but people follow that shit. And so it's like when you have the department, a major authoritative figure, the Department of War, whatever the fuck that is, like, again, trying to assert, what authority is he asserting? He's just flustered. Somebody said, what Pete Hegseth wasn't the exact right thing. And what Kelly said was, follow the law. That's what he said. And that causes like a stir. You say letters iterated, change meaning. That causes a stir. People just aren't used to hearing facts. Facts literally scare people. But another sports game. Time for another sports match. More games. The Golden Globes 2026 are hosted by Nikki Glaser. This brings me back to Billie Eilish's great donation. Wow, Billie Eilish donated $11 million. And for those watching, I am the most articulate resident vocalist out there. It's a provable physical thing. And so if I didn't do science with that, the engineering applications are classified, I would be a world-class musician 5, 6, 7 years ago. But obviously we have to destroy every waking bit of Brad's existence, every second of every minute of every day, and then act like that never happened because I am the scapegoat for literally fucking everybody. But Billie Eilish gives away $11 million and tries to scold other people like, you shouldn't be a billionaire. Again, we have one idiot, Billie Eilish, giving away an irrelevant amount of money, trying to discuss about bigger economics. Again, virtue signaling at its pinnacle. Trump flips off reporter at the Ford factory. OMGZs. And this is one of the scenarios where it's like a person is a person. Of course a president is allowed to flick somebody off. No, that isn't fucking news. And what universe is saying fuck you to somebody or flipping them off like not the most normal behavior ever? Again, I'm still swearing, but I try not to as much at my parents' house. But it's just like how people express themselves. And so again, any government official is still a citizen with added responsibilities. Is flipping somebody off illegal? No. Is it in any way outside of normal human behavior? Fuck no. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just, get me out of here. And finally, South Korea's special prosecutor pursues the death penalty as punishment for Yoon Suk Yeol. So the ex-president in 2024 failed a martial law order. So I didn't really follow this when it happened, but like, what is there? He's getting killed for not enacting martial law, or like it failing, like setting people up. Is that like the Prigozhin of the Wagner group type of deal? But South Korea has no presidential immunity, which I really wanted to point out. That's good, right? South Korea has not executed somebody in 30 years, about 30 years. And this ruling is expected on February 19th. So think about that. A whole country that has not executed anybody in 30 years is actually holding their I don't want to use supreme leader, but their president to a higher standard, right? The average citizen of South Korea cannot enact martial law. So I'm not exactly sure if it was like failed martial law and it upset some like group or something. So I'm not exactly sure why that's occurring, but point being is a government holding its president to a higher standard than its citizens is a good thing. You should be held accountable proportional to your responsibility in any decision made, period. So that is what I want to cover today. And again, obviously I say fuck a lot, but it's not these individual YouTube comments. It's that I can't respond to them in, again, a professional way. You walk into your boss's room and you say, hey bro, look at this, I'm gonna shit all over his desk. Like everybody in the room immediately knows that person's fired, gone, sacked, done. And these comments are that level of where I put my foot down, right? Most behavior, like I said, is biologically neutral. It would not even cause a response to me. But when you have this behavior and you feel like I need to assert authority over everybody, it is truly the behavior that causes every fixable problem in our society. Every fixable problem that ever has existed and ever will exist is evidenced by this behavior. So change every law that needs to be changed and prosecute them accordingly. Thank you for watching. I continue to be tortured. I am seeking asylum, and I will see you on the next one.